Hello, Web Center owners, and welcome back to our virtual Web Center booth. We've had such great content over, I would say, the past week from the online Market America International Convention, the Web Center breakout. We've had our virtual booths on Monday and Tuesday. And today we've got another special guest. You all know and love her. She works in the Design Center for MA Web Centers. And she's going to take us through a little bit of some information about what can really help you bring your client through that process, what's going to be easy for you as a Web Center owner and your client and the project manager, as well as the design team, to really get the best design out the door and launched for your client. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to our sweetheart who's joined us today, Gabby Bright. The floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so I will be presenting a little PowerPoint. Let me see if I can get this up here. Share. Can everybody see this okay? I'm assuming so. So what I'm going to talk about is basically the Design Center and demystifying the Design Center. Basically, we're going to chat about what is the Design Center, who can use the Design Center, what is the Design Center process, and what will or won't the Design Center do for your clients. So,
Gabby, you want to maximize that full screen?
Sure, if I can. There we go.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So let me see if I can move this out of the way. Okay, great. Okay, so what is the Design Center? The Design Center is basically where we will take the information that the client provides to us in the Design Wizard, and we'll create a custom design based on their requirements. Our designs and our websites are created specifically with that.
Gabby, hang on. I think I accidentally muted you. If you want to unmute yourself again, I apologize.
I think you did. No worries.
You're back with us. Thank you.
Okay, great. I don't know where you guys, where I left off, but basically that is what the Design Center is. We'll take the client's information and we'll create a custom design specifically for that client. And then we take that approved design and we build the website out for them based on what they provide to us. Okay, so the next slide is who can use the Design Center. Basically, anybody can use the Design Center, anyone who has an MA website with us. Clients who don't have the time or the manpower to design and build their own website can use the Design Center. Also, if clients don't have a web presence at the time, then we can create a design for them as well. If a client has a website with another host, we can give them a new look. And we also do logo designs as well. So if there's anybody looking for a logo, we can definitely create a logo for them as well. Okay, so the next slide talks about the steps of the Design Center. Basically, how it starts is at the very beginning, the client will fill out the Design Wizard within the website admin with as much detail as they possibly can. The more detail we have, the better we can create something that the client will love. A lot of times clients just put in, like for example, they'll put in phone number, email address, but they won't provide that specific information. It helps if we have specifically what they want to put on their design. Step 2, the project manager is assigned to them, and then they will review the wizard and contact the client to go over their design package purchase, what they entered into the Design Wizard, explain the design process, and answer any questions that they may have. Step 3 is the conceptual design phase. This is where the designer will take the information that the client put into the Design Wizard, and they'll create a design for that client based on the information that they put into the wizard. The conceptual design is just a static image of what the new design will look like. And let's see here, give me just 1 second. Once the concept is completed by the designer, I will or the project manager will submit the concept to the client, and they'll be notified via email that there's something ready to review. They'll log into the website admin and they will review the design, and then they can either approve or reject the design. If they choose to approve it, then we'll move to the next phase. If they choose to reject it, then they will be provided with a box to enter in their rejection note. Once they reject it, I will take a look at the notes and then send the changes over to the designer. And then if they do choose to reject it, then we'll just repeat step 3. If they choose to approve the design, we'll go into, I think I skipped this. Basically, hold on one second. So the clients can go ahead and approve or reject the design. Again, if they reject the design, then I will go ahead and send the changes to the designer. If they approve, then we'll go into the final design phase, which is where we take that conceptual design and we will break it apart into the software, and the integrator will actually build out the website using that approved design and the content that they provided in the design wizard. Now, if they don't have all of the content in the design wizard, they would have to provide it at that time so we can make sure that we are able to build all of those pages for that client. The next step is, the next slide says, what will the Design Center do for my clients? Basically, bear with me just one second. Okay, so what will the Design Center do for my clients? We will insert and format the text that they provide to us, but we won't be adding to that text. They would have to provide it as they would like it to appear on their website. We can add images to the website. Again, they're able to supply any images that they would like, and we can put those on the website for them. I apologize, I'm having issues with my computer here.
It's okay, you're doing great. The content is the most important thing.
Yes, it is. And a lot of times clients don't have that right up front. We can go ahead and we can get started on the concept for the website if they don't have the content right away, but we do need that content before we can build the website for them. If they don't have the content, then we do have an option for them. We have content writing services where a client can go ahead and purchase copywriting, and we will go ahead and write the content for them based on what they purchase, and then we'll be able to place that on the website for them. But we need to have them provide their content to us in order for us to build the pages with that content. We will also add, modify, or delete widgets. And what that means is if somebody takes a look at their website and they're like, you know what, I want a map on this content page, and they didn't ask for a map originally, we can go ahead and put the map on that page for them. We can also update product data. If they purchase a design package that has the products, the professional with e-commerce, we can go ahead and update the information for their products as well. As long as it doesn't require significant custom programming. For that, if they have programming, and that actually brings me to what we won't do for the clients, extensive custom programming. We want to go ahead and make sure that the website is user-friendly for our clients. So if they want something that is not standard with the website, that doesn't come with the features, then we will go ahead and suggest that they contact our custom programming department. And they will go ahead and take the information that is provided to them by the client and give them a quote for how much it would cost to do their project. But we want to make sure that our sites are easy for the clients to use. So that's why we try to steer away from the custom programming unless it's something that's absolutely needed that that doesn't come standard with our software. We also won't buy images for the clients. We will use whatever the client provides to us as long as it fits the page. If it's not too small, if it's too small of an image, we'll ask them to provide a larger image, but we can't buy images for our clients. If they don't have any images, I know that there's royalty-free images, websites that they can purchase images from. Or they can
Gabby,
use.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to point one thing at one
No,
point
you're
of
fine.
clarification for the images.
Yes, please.
So with the images, when our designers are designing the full, this is Brett Ratner, by the way. Sorry to just jump in on this. So basically, when our designers are designing the conceptual design, we will take all of the content that the client provides. And additionally, we'll also use some royalty-free stock images from our royalty-free stock account. It's with Adobe Stock. When we say we won't buy images for the client, we're saying that in addition to what we wrap into the overall look and feel of the website, if they want additional images for like a photo gallery or something like that, those are images that we won't buy. But as it relates to the overall look and feel of the conceptual design, we absolutely will utilize our own royalty-free stock images for those designs.
Right, that's a great clarification, but I guess you're saying like if a client says, hey, we found this great image on Shutterstock, can you buy it for us, or can we use that image? It would have to be something that you already have in your stock image library through the Adobe, or something provided by the client, or they can purchase it on their own and then supply it. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. They would need to go out there and buy that. And obviously these days, there's a tremendous amount of scrutiny for images online. So you have to make sure that if you are going to use an image online, make sure that you have the royalty rights for it. And if you don't have the rights for it, you cannot utilize it. But there's a ton of different royalty-free sites out there that can provide tons of great content for you.
Great.
Take it back away, Gabby.
Okay. We also will not write content for our clients. We ask that the content that they provide to us is how they want it written on the website. So grammatically, punctuation, things like that. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to proofread everybody's content. But if they are able to send us the content the way they want it to show on the website, then that is great. We also have a content writer available if they want to purchase that package. So if they're unsure of whatever content it is that they want to have, they can purchase that package and then work with the content writer to create the copy for their website. The final thing that we won't do is post on client social media. If clients want to link to their social media, we can definitely do that, but we won't actually post for the clients because that is a separate package that they can purchase through the admin. So Q&A, I know I kind of went through that a little fast. Honestly, I'm so nervous. But if you guys have any questions, please let me know and I will do my very best to answer them for you.
No, thank you. You did a great job. It is a pretty straightforward process. You guys have done a great job streamlining it. It's very simple. You know, you have a client that purchases the design, they get the email, they fill out the design wizard, then they're assigned to a project manager. Project manager reviews the design wizard, brings it over to the designer. They get created a mock-up. They either approve or deny, you know, add any notes, and then once they approve it, it gets designed. So it is a pretty straightforward process, but I think, you know, hearing from you a little bit more in detail is useful. To Brett's point and to something that you mentioned, I think something that a lot of even clients don't realize or understand, and certainly a lot of web center owners should be aware of, is that this is not a point that we've got a legal staff or editorial staff, right, Gabby? So
Right.
basically going to be copying, pasting content. So whatever is provided is what's going to end up on the website. And I think that's important for clients to know. Well, how come it was misspelled? Because that's how it was provided, right?
Right. Right.
the length of time would take so much longer if we had to do those edits as well.
If we see a typo, we'll fix it, but we unfortunately don't have the time or manpower to proofread everything that clients send over to us.
Right, absolutely. And I think it's important for clients to know that the kind of the acceptable use policy says that they are taking, they're holding everyone else harmless and saying that it's our website and what we put on the internet is our responsibility. So if there's a copyright infringement, if there's plagiarism, if those things are a problem, certainly today in online marketing. But the client has to be aware that that's their responsibility. It's not ours.
Correct.
And that's all in the agreements that we have. And I will let you know that I have had a client that put an image on their banner of their website, and they were contacted by an attorney that wanted $16,000. And we were able to take it down quickly, and everything was fine. They stayed out of court. They didn't have to pay any money, but it is a real problem. And Brett, I'm sure that you've run into that with clients over the past couple decades. So that's kind of like the buyer beware. The clients don't always know that, but that's kind of like an unsaid that we want to make sure that we coach people that this is their content and they are responsible for what they provide.
Correct.
Absolutely.
So we've got a question here. Let me see. We got a couple good kudos for you. Gabby, I've been very helpful as a project manager. She's helped with a lot of projects. Gabby's absolutely fabulous. Love working with her. I always train in my classes to make certain that all content they receive from clients is royalty free. That's great. Yep, another, I think you may have worked on, one of my recent sales. Yeah, Gabby's the best. So I know a lot of you have worked with her. I've got a couple questions if you don't mind, and I think this is important for our web center owners, but what would you say is most often missed in the process? Where do you find that the biggest challenges when you get that design wizard over to your desk?
It's honestly content. A lot of clients have issues preparing their content in the beginning. Sometimes it helps for them to see the concept first before they can provide the content. And if that's what's necessary, then that's totally fine, as long as we have enough information to get the concept going. And then they can provide the content as soon as they approve the concept, then we can build out the pages for them. That was probably the biggest thing, is they have a lot of challenges creating their content in the beginning.
Okay. And probably they don't have a great way of letting you know what that content is. Like you said, they say business name, phone number, but they don't tell you what the actual business name or phone number that they would like to view.
Right. Yeah. It's like we have so many clients, you just saying, I want my phone number and my email address isn't helpful to us. We need the actual content to be provided.
Okay, so that's probably something that web center owners can help in that process, right? We can be that liaison. What are some other things that we can do as web center owners to make your jobs easier and really make it a smooth transition? What are some things that might help you?
If you want to check in with the clients from time to time, I know sometimes clients get busy. We do try to follow up on a weekly basis. If we don't hear from the client, then we'll reach out to you to see if you've heard from them. So maybe just checking in with them. Another thing is maybe letting them know that they're able to call in tech support if they need assistance with the design wizard. We do welcome calls to introduce ourselves to the clients and to let them know that we're here to help and walk them through the wizard, but sometimes they don't answer or they're not aware of it. So just let them know that they can call into tech support for help with the wizard. Once they actually are in the design process, just making sure they stay in contact with us, really, I would say, is one of the biggest things. Making sure that they know what pages they want to have on their website. For example, if they want an About Us or a Services, if they want a Services page, what services do they want on that page? And then maybe if they know what services they want on that page, they'll know what they can provide to us to fill that information out on the website. Things like that.
Yeah, so almost like prepping the client before they ever go into that design wizard.
Mm-hmm.
They know what to expect, so they're already prepared rather than opening up that email, clicking the design wizard and saying, oh boy, I don't know what I want. I
Yeah.
want about us
Yeah,
and
because a
phone
lot of
number.
times they'll get overwhelmed with how much information that they have to provide in the beginning. And I know it's a lot, especially if somebody is doing this for the first time and they have absolutely no idea what they want to have. It helps to coach them through it a little bit. Just ask them, what pages do you want to have? Home, about us, services, contact us are usually the most important pages to have. If you want those pages, what content do you want on those pages? Like, you know your business, we do not. How do you want to describe yourself to your clients? That's what we need from you.
That's great. And I've alluded to it to some of the web center owners. I don't think Brett and I have had a conversation about this yet, but my plan is to help put together a design consultation for our web center owners to work with the client so that they can help coach that along. I think your questions that you just mentioned there are perfect, and so that we can have that conversation so that once they get to that design wizard, it's going to be a much easier process for all parties. So we're going to work on that together.
Yeah, you know
That'd be
what? There's
great.
actually a great overview document on the dc.mawebcenters.com website. That document kind of does this, but maybe it's a little bit long in the tooth. It's been out there for a while, so maybe people aren't leaning on it as well as they should. So I think a combination of some of those more targeted questions plus that overview that's kind of giving them a heads up of what to expect in the Design Center Wizard, I think merging those together, I think will provide the best of both worlds.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think we all have to remember that we're all on the same team. We're all on the same team, and we all want to get a great site for our clients. So it really is a win-win-win. And of course, a lot of things just may get miscommunicated or not communicated. So we just have to make sure that we communicate effectively and get in touch with your project manager and let them know what's happening. Get in touch with your client. And really, I think communication solves all issues or all problems. So if we can just be more open about that, and sometimes it takes multiple follow-ups, I think that's important. Gabby, what if there was a client that has a website with another service, they like it, but they want to move over to MA Web Centers? Would they just go through the design wizard and say, you know, here's the URL of my existing website, I just want to bring that entire design and content over? Or do you need them to copy and paste and add the images individually?
If they can make 100% sure that that website will not go down before we finish building the website, then it's totally fine to put the URL and tell us what they want from that page. If they're not sure, then the best thing for them to do would be to copy and paste the content, download the pictures from their website, upload them to the design wizard. Like I said, as long as they can make sure that it doesn't go down, the URL is totally fine.
Right, which sometimes happens, right? They get so excited they cancel
Yes.
their old website and you're left
Yep.
with
They jumped the gun.
nothing.
Yeah, with one caveat, there's the complication sometimes where maybe their old website isn't really responsive friendly. So if they say they want to bring it over, but the look and feel of the old website just won't work with responsive, you know, there may be a situation where they say that's what they want, but we have to come back to them and say, hey, that's just not going to work, and here's the reason why, and let's go ahead and, you know, let's tweak the design and let's give it a fresh look and feel anyway. If you're paying for it, might as well make it nice and new and beautiful.
Great point. You know, sometimes they don't know. They may like it, but they don't realize that it's not putting their best foot forward on the internet, right? And they would need to make sure that they get that fresh look, for sure, for sure. I know a question that comes up a lot is, so my client purchased the website, they're in the design center process, yet they're getting charged their monthly billing. Is there a way that we can at least get something up, maybe a landing page, get their domain, get their email, so they're getting use of the service while the website's being designed? Is that something that sometimes you will do?
Yes, usually when they ask for a landing page, if I can do it, then I will go ahead and put like maybe a contact page up for them. If they want more than that, then I let them know that tech support's available to them. Even if they are on basic hosting, I just let them know I can get a landing page up for you. You can work with tech support to get your domain pointed, and just so you have something up and you're utilizing the tools while we are designing the website. If not, then we just let them know that the website does need to be active in order for us to work on it. And in order to keep it active, the hosting does need to be paid.
Right, absolutely. And I think that's something that we can do a better job as web center owners in asking some of those questions. So it's not just assumed by the client that, oh, well, I thought you'd have something on up online, at least I'm paying for it, but what am I paying for? So those are some of the things that we're trying to clear up a little bit. And I think that'll help all of us as web center owners, as you, the project manager, the designers, and the client. And again, if we just be a little bit more upfront about that process. And I think that just comes from maybe web center owners being ignorant or naive to it. But that's why we're having calls like this. And we really want to just make sure that we all improve our game a little bit. How about a timeline in terms of a client purchases a design package, completes the design wizard, they approve the first proof that gets to them, and it gets integrated. What is the timeline that you would usually tell a client if everything was 100% perfect? This is what you could expect. What would be the turnaround that you would say?
I would usually say, in a perfect world, 4 to 6 weeks. In a perfect world, that is, if they have all their content, if they're quick with the communication, if they approve everything on the first go around, I would say 4 to 6 weeks. I do see it take longer than that, and it all depends on communication and what the client has available to us. If they don't have all the content that we need, yes, it's going to take longer for the website to get completed.
Right. And I think that's another problem that sometimes we have is we're so excited as web center owners that sometimes we overpromise, and then it makes it seem that MA Web Centers is under delivering, which isn't the case at all. So we want to make sure that we set them up for success, and that is to make sure that we let them know what to expect and that we under promise and over deliver. If we can say, hey, if everything goes perfect, in 4 to 6 weeks, and it can get done in 4 weeks, then you look like a hero. If you say it's going to get done in 2 weeks and it's taking 4 to 6 weeks, well, that's on you as a web center owner. So we want to make sure that as excited as you are and as excited as the client is, we still want to be genuine and honest and truthful and let them know that this is a process. It's going to be their design, their website on the internet. And we don't want to rush it and make sure that we get it right the first time, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
So what about feedback? The first proof comes in, a client, rejects it or doesn't like it. The web center owner might be involved in that process. What is the best way? I know that you go in and you reject it and you make some little notes, but is there other information or is there a better way to produce what the client's actually looking for? I find that a lot of clients, it's that they don't know how to verbalize a visual change. What types of communication will you guys work with?
If they can't verbally describe it, we ask sometimes if they have a reference site that they can provide that has what they're looking for. In the past, some clients have actually drawn it out and sent me a picture of it, which is helpful if that's something that they want to do. And I've actually done that for a client as well when I was trying to understand what they were wanting. I'm like, is this what you want? And so that's a helpful way too if they can't verbalize it. I know sometimes it's hard to write it out. So if they need to speak about the revisions over the phone, as long as they can give us as much detail as they can in writing, because we do like to have everything in writing from them. If they need to jump on a call, just say, call me, I'll call them, we'll discuss it, and I'll still have them do the best that they can to verbalize it, just so I have something that I can send to the designer. But reference sites, drawing it, or speaking about it over the phone are usually the best ways.
Yeah, I've had clients that might even print out screenshots, print it out, and then write notes on it.
Yeah.
Annotations are great on printed screenshots.
Yeah, so anything that you can do to help them really verbalize and communicate specifically what they mean. I think we've all had that client that is more analytical, and they just don't know how to verbalize what they're envisioning in their creative mind versus what they were produced from the design team. So everything that communication, of course. I have a question here from Carmen, and it's related to the difference between Oasis and Legacy. And really, the design process is the same regardless of what the final build out is and platform?
Correct. Yeah.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And then if anything, the integration is the same, whether it's on Legacy or Oasis as well, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, so the process is pretty much the same. I think managing and maintaining and using the website moving forward might be a little easier for the clients on the Oasis, but in terms of the front end design center process, that'll be exactly the same.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Well, I don't think we have any more questions in the chat box. Are there any final comments or anything that you would like to say, or Brett, anything that you want to add in here?
I don't have anything. That's pretty much everything.
I just wanted to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for all of your continued efforts and support. After this past event, there's so many exciting things to talk about, and I'm sure everybody is just interested in getting back to work and just getting out there and grinding, because everyone's been kind of stalled for a while, so everyone wants to just get out there and do it. So
that's right.
Do it.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being on and taking the time. Gabby, it was great to hear your voice and go through this information.
Thank you.
We're hoping to get more and more clients over to you and into the design team. I know that everyone's really excited about Oasis. Everyone's really looking at digital marketing being really powerful now in kind of the day and age that we're living in. We're going into a really busy season with obviously e-commerce and retail and more people paying attention to digital marketing. So we're really excited, and we just want to thank you guys for everything that you've done for MA Web Centers and all of our clients. And we're looking forward to a lot of success together.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Fantastic. All right. Well, if anyone has any questions, you can always email us at mawebcenters@marketamerica.com, and we will route that question to wherever we need to get it answered. We also have the Web Center Owner Support Group on Facebook. But if you've got questions, make sure they come in, and we will answer them to the best of our ability. And we'll look forward to having you succeed as a Web Center owner here in the fourth quarter of 2020. Thanks for being on, everyone.